Hester Block Staley in the Renaissance area. He pointed out some graffiti off some benches. Flavia painted it white.
Many nights we prayed with no proof anyone could hear. In our hearts a hopeful song we barely understood. Now we are not afraid, although we know there's much to do. We were moving mountains road before we knew we could. There can be miracles when you believe. Hope is
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe? Somehow you will. You will when you
music going.
Not to be naughty.
You will when you believe.
Naughty and not snotty.
They don't retain their. Maybe when they bake, it'll separate.
I don't know. I'm not a bread baking expert.
How would you get a challah to keep its shape? Keep its braid.
The pictures on there, the picture of a window.
Wait for a minute to make sure we're muted, okay?
This is your, I didn't know how you wanted that done, so I thought I'd let you do it yourself. Boy, your eyebrows have really gotten white and bushy. Yeah, I wish I had hair like that on my head.
Really sorry.
You want,
I turned it on.
why?
Hi.
I left my phone at Dustin's, fucking AT&T, can't get it transferred over, they're still working on it.
Carol Butler,
Yeah,
I just want you guys to know that your audio is on,
okay,
just because you're chit-chatting, just in case.
okay, I'm going to push the, what do I do? Which button do I
Wait,
hit?
there's a mute. If you go up to the corner of like where your face is,
Where it says record?
if you put your cursor up there, you'll see that it says mute, and if you click on that, you'll mute yourself.
It just says record.
So we're on.
Where your face is in the square?
Yeah,
How about are you on an iPad or on a Mac?
I'm on an iPad. Is it better now?
Well, I just want to let you know that you're being heard, so
Okay.
maybe.
Tell her to go up to the microphone where it says mute and just touch that and it should unmute her. Hi, Carol, it's Gail.
Hi, Gail. There is no microphone. There's just a camera and a little red thing dot that says REC for record.
Touch record.
Now it says recording.
You know what? As soon as Eileen Tatro comes live, she can help you. I just want you to be protected.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This has never happened before.
Well, I'm never zooming on an iPad, so I don't know where the mute unmute is. But if
Sometimes
somebody
in the
else is on
bottom
an
left-hand
iPad, they can
corner,
help.
there's a microphone.
That's what I'm saying.
Actually, there isn't.
Oh, it says service.
Sandy?
They can see honey like that.
Just
You can click and yeah. I wasn't sure yours was.
It shows me. Wait, oh, we had it.
gonna go right into voting, right?
Talk amongst yourselves one more time. That was just a test. Good evening. Welcome to the annual meeting. I believe we are going to immediately pause for voting. Leslie, we're voting, right? Okay. So the folks online are going to be voting through the Zoom, so we're going to pause for about 2 minutes to do that. If anybody in the room has not yet filled out their ballot and needs to know the answers to the questions, it's yes for all. Go ahead and turn it in if you haven't turned it in yet. We have lovely ballot collectors moving down the aisles to pick up your paperwork if you have retained it to this moment. Other than that, we are just pausing to make sure everybody online has an opportunity to vote. You can put anything in the ballot box. Donations are welcome, wallets, keys, watches.
Balloting or something.
We can do the Jeopardy theme. Anybody have any trouble finding the synagogue this evening? Finding your seats are okay? Anybody want to change seats? I know some people. Only for a couple more minutes, though. No, then I have no power. Don't use my name anymore after tonight. This smile is real. I don't think so. It's written in code. It's actually a treasure hunt. Each past president has a piece of the clues. Should we refill the drinks? We don't really have enough people to do a wave, but the folks at home don't know that, so. There we go, nice. It's coming across, come on, Russ. There's always somebody in the stadium that can't carry the wave. It was my fault, actually. I didn't do the connection across the aisle. Is it a launch code issue? Bless you. We're blaming all technical issues on the next president. Good to go. Okay. It is now my honor to again call our annual meeting to order. Today's Thursday, May 20th. It's a little past 6 p.m. And I am delighted to call up Rabbi Jason Navarez to do our blessing and share with us some thoughts.
You can clap. I never get a clap. No, it's okay. I'm just kidding. Hello to all of you. Good evening to everyone who is with us virtually. The Lord Rabbi Jonathan Sacks noted that to be a Jew is to be an agent of hope in a world serially threatened by despair. Judaism is a sustained struggle against the world that is, in the name of the world that could be, should be, but is not yet. These were the words that I shared with you via video nearly 1 year ago during last year's annual meeting, having not yet been fully in relationship with each of you. This critical statement has been on my mind throughout the entire year, as this is what CBI has been to so many, an agent of hope. With a world that has and continues to navigate the pandemic, the pain in Israel, to domestic strife, Beth Israel has become a leading moral voice and a voice of action throughout. CBI has been filled and continues to be filled with many beautiful, amazing, wonderful treasures. And it has been my joy and honor to be part of its leadership over this past year, and I hope for many years to come. Transitions happen in all sorts of ways, and mine and my family's time here has been not what we expected in terms of transition, but one that has been unique, that has been filled with much learning and education, and filled with a lot of humility. Humility to be wrong, humility to drop the ball and know that what you're doing may not be stellar, but at the moment it's good enough, because that's what people need in that very moment. And so it has been, and the other side of that has been that over our 1,100 family units or member units are strong. And I believe made stronger by how we learned to not only adapt and to survive, but to thrive throughout a year of challenges and a year of unknowns. We have a remarkable staff that has worked tirelessly to make this year feel almost seamless to our Beth Israel family. We have a caring, dedicated lay leadership that has worked hand in hand with your clergy and staff to provide best-in-class Jewish experiences. Our world has changed, and Beth Israel along with it. I want to offer some gratitude. The blessing is based in the gratitude that we say this evening, because it is one that I believe we start with the gratitude and then we ask for things. But we don't start with the ask and then say thank you. For me, our tradition is built in the gratitude first. And so I first want to thank you. I want to say thank you to Kim Corneau, our outgoing president, for her outstanding leadership, for her leading brilliantly and bravely through a senior rabbinic transition and search, and through this pandemic. To Dan Jones, our incoming president, who has been on the back end of so many of our amazingly wonderful things that have come out of this year, and knowing that he follows in the wonderful footsteps of an incredible president, and I know will make his indelible mark on this congregation. To our executive committee and to our board, you have weathered a perfect storm of sorts, and you have done it admirably and with great tenacity and resilience. And for that, I say thank you. To my rabbinic partners, Rabbi Cantor Bernstein, who continues to enjoy some much-needed respite and will be back with us next week. If you're watching, we say hello and hope you are indeed rested. To Rabbi Gimbel, to both of you who have been partners true and true, your gifts this year have been unparalleled. Your partnership, the way that I've been able to learn from each of you has been invaluable. And so I thank you very much for all your grace and humility and bad jokes that have gotten me through this moment. To Leslie Mills, our beyond, we are blessed to have you as our executive director. You have helped me learn and grow this year. You have navigated so much that only a certain fraction of this congregation truly knows. You have done it all, and you have done it all quietly and seamlessly and without ego, ever, once. You are a great partner, and we thank you for helping lead us through this time and beyond, and all these years that precede my tenure and until now, and I know well and beyond. To all our staff, Simone Blasi, Natalie Vanderberg, Katie Lindley, Bethany Eisenberg, Meg Mendel, Eileen Tatro, Kathy Goldberg, Rose Orlovich, our new Director of Education with us tonight, Jessica Kretzer, Heather Taylor-Williams, Becca Myers, Emma Voigt, Raphael Stigliano, Mila Vassar, Susan Hutchinson, Barbara Thompson, Terry Davis, Sandra Butler, Michelle Berkowitz, Alex Biado, our new named Security Director, Leanne Schaller, my right hand. What can I say about you, Leanne? You're not leaving and going to Australia. That's what I say to you tonight. Bill Klansik, our Facilities Director, and Mendy Streri, our Events Coordinator, and our entire facilities team. You have led through this pandemic with grace, with resilience, and giving our congregants everything they could want and more. To the Gantwork mayors, invaluable friends, to the Myers family, to Ilana and Abby Hirschfeld in her respective roles in our schools, to Buddy Voigt, Kate Chasen, you have helped to illuminate our spiritual depths and nourish our souls. This team is absolutely incredible, and words cannot describe what a privilege and honor I have to help lead them. We are, as a congregation, strong, reflective, and making an impact. Within a year of unknowns, more people have connected with Beth Israel than ever. Our reach has gone beyond our physical walls and even our geographic locale to a global reach. Thousands upon thousands have tuned in this year to join us as we honor and celebrate our High Holy Day season. Zoom, Shivas, and Minyanim, funerals, all in-person B'nai Mitzvahs since August of 2020, baby namings, Brit Milah, Shabbat morning minyan and Torah study with 70 to 90 in weekly attendance participation, led and facilitated by Rabbis Jeremy Gimbel, myself, Rabbis Bohm, Lawson, Grobert, and our Rabbi Emeritus, Michael Burke. All of you have made a tremendous impact this year, and we thank you. Just to share a few highlights and takeaways that I'm thinking about this year. Our Intro to Judaism class had 44 participants, some as local as down the street, some as far as the Philippines. This has been tuning in each and every week to join us, joining us in Torah study, joining us every Thursday evening, and they've all graduated, I say, with honors. Our caring community, as we celebrated and honored the work that they do over this past virtual gala, they have done exceptional work to hold our congregation, and I say thank you to Katie Lindley, our director, and all that they have and continue to do and will continue to do for this congregation. Our Leadership Development Institute has been ripe with fresh young and amazing leaders that will lead this congregation into its next generation. And we honor you tonight as you have done so much to be part of the learning and knowing that you have and will continue to be part of the fabric of our congregation. To our Courageous Conversations, to Rachel Wegner, who helped develop this incredible curriculum to bring over 30 congregants into monthly learning on racism, on our own understandings and our own takeaways from what it means to be at a reckoning with racial justice in this season. To virtual coffees, countless engagements that I've participated in over this year, meeting hundreds and hundreds of congregants, both virtually and in person. All of us, together, we are navigating what it means to stand for a safe and secure Israel, while global condemnation and anti-Semitic rhetoric continue to rise. Our Jewish institutions, and more specifically, our Beth Israel, continues to lean into the challenges within in order to affirm for what we stand as a Jewish leading institution in San Diego. This year, we've had exceptional, remarkable programming under the direction of Ilan Tetro, our program director, and we've had and continue to foster wonderful and new community partnerships with the Interfaith Community Services in North County, with Father Joe's and a special relationship with Deacon Vargas, with the ADL, the First United Methodist Church of San Diego under the new leadership of their lead pastor, Trudy Robinson, and new established relationships with local Black faith leaders. These are just tastes of what we have accomplished this year, and we know what is yet to come. Upcoming, you may want to know, what's happening with High Holy Days? What's going to be? Well, first reflect on where we've been. We managed to hold our virtual High Holy Day experiences and offer them to thousands, as I previously mentioned. This year, I am confident that we will see our sanctuary and our physical presence back here at Beth Israel for our High Holy Day season. We will always continue to offer virtual experiences and opportunities for people who are not yet ready, or people who may be traveling, or for whatever reason you cannot attend. You will always have diverse access, as we call it, into our congregational community. We are also looking to go to Israel. We will be going to Israel in December with our 11th and 12th grade students on our Platt trip. We will also be, over the High Holy Days, we will be unveiling new Israel experiences for adults and families that will be coming in the next year to two. And it gives me great pleasure and honor and distinction to let our congregation know this evening that as of July 1st, 2021, our Assistant Rabbi, Jeremy Gimbel, will be designated as Associate Rabbi, Rabbi Jeremy Gimbel. So I offer an applause and mazel tov for all that you have and continue to do. We thank you for and own that designation, and you know that I'll make you work for it, so it's okay. So it's all good. It has been my privilege and honor for my wife, Nicole, for my children, Ethan and Sophie, for all of us. This has been a year of questioning, a year of wrestling, a year of unknowns, and it has been my privilege and honor to serve as your senior rabbi this year, and I look forward to many years to come of a wonderful tenure and relationship together. Thank you. One more thing, as we say, as I send her back, one more thing just to share, which I thought is really important at this time. A prayer for Israel in this moment. Shalu shalom Yerushalayim, Yishlav ochayach. Avinu shebashamayim, Su Yisrael v'goalenu. Berechet Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Smichat Goratenu. Hagen alecha, בעברת חסדך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ושלח אורך מתך לרשתך, שריך ואוהביך. ותכנס בעצה טובה מלפניך, ונתת שלום בארץ V'simchat olam be'yoshvecha v'nomar amen. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in your land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will, as together we say, Amen. Thank you.
Good evening again. Welcome to our annual meeting. I am Kim Carno, and I am president of Beth Israel until the board meeting this evening. I trust some of you have created annual meeting bingo cards for this evening. I'll help you mark off a few of the bingo squares by saying, validate your parking, give to your heart's content, pandemic, Rabbi Navarez, CBISD.org. Shout it out or type it in the chat when you get bingo. It has been my honor to serve as president. I have seen firsthand the tireless work of our clergy, staff, and lay leaders in serving our community. I could not have done this without the support of my loving wife, Tracy, my amazing kids, Emma and Harley, my incredible parents, Pam and Ed Carno, and all of you. Honorable mention goes to our COVID rescue dogs, Loki and Brandy. I am truly blessed. My deepest gratitude to my partners in supporting our three-legged stool, Executive Director Leslie Mills, Rabbi Cantor Bernstein, who served as our acting senior rabbi during my first year, and Senior Rabbi Jason Navarez. You are all truly amazing in terms of knowledge, creativity, and love for Beth Israel. It has been a pleasure learning from all of you. You just heard Senior Rabbi Navarez. You just heard from Senior Rabbi Navarez. He has hit the ground running, rolled to San Diego with his wife Nicole and children, Ethan and Sophie, in a camper during the pandemic. And he opened his heart to us. He has worked hard to meet and connect with as many of you as possible, even in the virtual space. And he has brought us closer together. I have seen the impact he is having in raising our discourse and awareness, engaging with the community outside our walls, and informing relationships with the interfaith community. Rabbi Navarez, I'm glad we found each other. I know many of you have noticed the thematic link to musicals in my presidential remarks. I have received some funny emails and letters talking about musicals. Yes, not all emails the president receives contain complaints. I cannot guarantee that the next administration will carry forward with musicals, so I will make the most of our evening together. The annual meeting is our chance to report out on how the year has gone. This portion of my remarks, sorry, I didn't actually start the slide deck. That was your bingo card. Thank you. This portion of my remarks is brought to you by Seasons of Love from Rent. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? We measure it in love, of course. When the past presidents of Beth Israel get together, the group recites the history of Beth Israel and notable accomplishments on their watch. I am filled with glee to be able to hold the space of a time in our history that was completely without scandal and was drama-free in the clergy suite. No rabbi has left Beth Israel on my watch. Granted, we had a pandemic and stay-at-home orders, making leaving impossible, but I am still taking the win. Pivoting in the pandemic, brought to you by When You Believe from the Prince of Egypt. The pandemic brought many notable accomplishments as our beloved Beth Israel pivoted to meet our needs. We saw services, programming, education, and outreach all move to the virtual space with tremendous success. So many contributed to this effort, but huge thanks to now Associate Rabbi Gimbel and Dan Jones and Gravity Productions for the heavy lifting in delivering stellar content to our living rooms. Shabbat services averaged 427 household viewers. We saw astronomical increases in our high holiday attendance. We reached congregants who had previously been unable to come to synagogue and the broader Jewish community beyond San Diego, crossing national and international borders. We were more inclusive and accessible, caring for each other in challenging circumstances, creating safe spaces to share and cope with feelings of fear, anger, and grief. And we celebrated life cycle events in each other's accomplishments. Yes, we missed gathering in person, and there is no substitute for being physically in community with each other, but we found new ways to engage. We set the bar high for virtual experiences and are well positioned to continue multimodal delivery of meaningful Judaism, even as it becomes safer and more comfortable for us to fully return to our Beth Israel home. Caring Community's response to the pandemic, brought to you by Blankets and Bedding from Come From Away. Caring Community stepped forward to address the increased needs of so many. Mishbag Delivery, Fill the Freezer, Cindy's College Crew, and Shavuot Tov Cafe continued as staples. In addition, they established a mental health resource bank, provided technical support, and vaccine scheduling assistance. Our membership committee launched a new program called Coffee and Connections, a facilitated virtual conversation with Beth Israel members interested in meeting new people. You can sign up for one of these sessions on the Beth Israel website. We have met you where you were, but we are eager to fully open our doors and welcome you back. The return to Beth Israel, brought to you by Be Our Guest from Beauty and the Beast. As we look to welcome more of you back to Beth Israel in the weeks and months ahead, a reopening task force comprised of medical, mental health, educational, facilities, and other subject matter experts is reviewing our ongoing planning efforts. Our decisions continue to be informed by the CDC, San Diego County Public Health Department, and feedback from our community. We will be delivering more robust in-person experiences, and we will continue to provide virtual and hybrid experiences to meet each of you where you are in your comfort and engagement levels. When you return to campus, you will notice we continue to enhance our security measures. The security portion of my speech is brought to you by Fearless from Mean Girls. Beth Israel has in place a multifaceted approach to security, which we continuously reassess for enhancement opportunities. During my term, we have upgraded access control systems, security cameras, alarm and communication systems, installed bullet-resistant glass, hired a new director of security, and authorized our security guards to supplement non-lethal response tools with firearms. We take the security of our community seriously. School update brought to you by the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Religious schools successfully conducted a hybrid school experience this school year. Plans for next school year include more on-site learning opportunities, including immersive travel experiences. We are excited to resume the Platt trip to Israel for our junior and senior class. Our resource classroom serves special needs students this year. The youth group hosted 3 on-site religious school takeover days. We offered 11 different Passover programs for our children to choose from. 10 of our students participated in consecration. 15 students will participate in a confirmation ceremony. And many of our new graduates joined us on campus with the clergy for their last day of school. We had 85 families in our preschool. Our infant program doubled from 9 families in July to 18 families currently. and we have families participating in virtual preschool. We provided a learning pod for kindergarten through second grade children to learn virtually from their secular schools, and we opened a kindergarten in-person class. I hope when you return to campus, you will visit the preschool garden to see the beautiful mural and fabulous garden enhancements made possible by Helene and Alan Zyman. Programming update brought to you by What If from If Then. Our programming continues to evolve to meet needs. Tribe hosted monthly virtual onegs. The Israel Committee delivered a virtual tour of Israel. The Social Action Committee hosted programs and speakers on topics like responding to racism and hate and educating voters. Rabbi Navarez co-hosted Bamakom, Courageous Conversations. Daytimers brought monthly speakers, book clubs, and movie mavens. Our drive-through holiday experiences were well attended and saw unprecedented levels of donations to help those in need. Rabbi Cantor Arlene Bernstein, along with Rabbi Stein, helped us count the Omer through spiritual study. Rabbi Jeremy Gimbel infused creative songs and spiritual elements in the virtual Seder, which was attended by 200 households. Adult education found new collaboration opportunities and international speakers to enrich us with high-quality virtual presentations. We hosted an incredible Scholar-in-Residence weekend with Rabbi Dana Evan Kaplan, and the weekly mindfulness group changed lives. If you did not know about all of these opportunities, I urge you to read the Beth Israel quarterly newsletter that arrives in your mailbox, the physical one. Back issues can be found on the Beth Israel website, and the weekly e-blast, which can be found in your email box. The delivery of groundbreaking spiritual moments, worship, education, and programs, especially now in an enhanced technologically dependent environment, requires funding. The financial portion of my remarks is brought to you by Money, Money, Money from the musical Mamma Mia. If you attended in person this evening, you received a financial report from Treasurer John Lefter. For those viewing virtually, you can request a copy from Executive Director Leslie Mills. Here are the key takeaways. The pandemic was impactful. We were able to take advantage of a payroll protection program loan, and investment performance helped our endowment. But our expenses, even in a pandemic year, continue to exceed revenue. Thank you to those of you who contribute to the endowment. Please consider contacting Meg Mandel to create a legacy gift for Beth Israel to help sustain us now and into the future. Spring Fling annual fundraiser raised $175,000. In addition, donations to Caring Community totaled $46,487, which will be matched thanks to the generosity of Phyllis and Dan Epstein. We brought in $125,330 for Hunger Project. Somebody can make up that delta with another donation. We benefit from owning our building debt-free, but aging infrastructure needs to be addressed. Your financial support of Beth Israel is vital. If you can increase your membership commitment or give a one-time gift, please do. No gift is too small or too large. Another way you can help us is to share the things you love about Beth Israel in your community and help us attract new members. Be brand ambassadors. Speaking of ambassadors, and this portion is brought to you by thank you from Jagged Little Pill, our deepest gratitude to the board members who are ending their service this evening. Gary Hirschfeld, Ide Ojeda Fournier, Alicia Schuchter, and Louis Venner. So much has happened during your board terms, and we all benefited from your contributions to board discussions, the expertise you brought to the table, and the example you set in our community. Thank you for your willingness to serve and for your generosity of time and commitment to Beth Israel. It is now my pleasure to ask my good friend, President-elect Dan Jones, to join me up here to present our Tony Awards to those who went above and beyond this year in giving of themselves to Beth Israel.
Thank you, Kim. And I don't want to confuse anybody. I know we've all sort of lost our sense of time during the pandemic. I know normally if you ever see me in a coat and tie, it's the High Holy Days. So it's not the High Holy Days yet, so rabbis, you can relax. Good evening. My name is Dan Jones, and I have the privilege to present the Volunteer of the Year Award to our very deserving honorees. It can go without saying that the last 12 months since our 2020 annual meeting have been an extraordinary time for our Beth Israel community. In that time, our community has been supported by three groups: our clergy, who have kept our spiritual center strong and vibrant; our staff, who've continuously adapted to our ever-evolving reality, not only keeping us functional, but helping us to thrive and grow; and you, our membership. Through your continued participation and volunteerism, you are the engine that drives Congregation Beth Israel. The Volunteer of the Year Award is meant to recognize Beth Israel members who have demonstrated outstanding volunteerism within our community. Our 6 honorees this year were identified as a group of people that stepped up in the last 12 months to work directly with our community in a variety of different ways to help us all navigate our lives during the pandemic. Russ Gold. Russ has a doctorate in clinical psychology and has been in private practice since 1979. Russ is the ultimate doer in our community. He has co-led our interfaith couples groups, served as a chair of our Caring Community Committee, and served on 3 rabbinic search committees. In his spare time, Russ also lends his voice to our choir for the past 23 years. This past year, Russ has stepped forward once again, this time to co-lead, along with our next 3 honorees, our parenting support groups during the pandemic. Stacy Goodman Eaton. Stacy is a clinical social worker and has been a psychotherapist in private practice for 20 years. This past year, when Rabbi Navarez reached out to ask for help supporting parents, Stacy said that it felt like a gift to be able to do something tangible during such unprecedented and stressful times. She truly valued the opportunity to connect with parents and offer support and community, something Beth Israel has always provided for her. Debbie Zeichner. Debbie is a licensed clinical social worker and parent coach who has specialized in working with parents and families for over 20 years. When Rabbi Navarez was seeking to build a talented team to help support our parents during the pandemic, Debbie was quick to answer the call. She volunteered her time and effort, bringing together her knowledge and expertise in positive and mindful parenting, and her passion for supporting parents in creating calmer confidence and connection within themselves and their families. Rachel Goldenhar. Rachel is a clinical psychologist and has been practicing in the mental health field for over 20 years. Rachel has served on multiple committees, including Rabbi Search Committees, the Preschool Director Search Committee, and our Beth Israel Fundraiser Committee. In the past year, Rachel has stepped up and helped facilitate mental health support groups for religious school parents during the pandemic. Rachel feels that there has been such a great need for emotional support during this pandemic. She is so glad she was able to be of service to offer extra support and guidance to parents during this difficult year. Julie Potiker. Julie is a mindfulness expert with extensive teacher training in a variety of tools and methods, including mindful self-compassion. For the first 3 months of the pandemic, Julie held a free mindfulness and meditation class twice a week on the Beth Israel virtual learning platform. In month 4, and continuing today, she hosts a weekly free mindfulness meditation class for the Beth Israel community. These sessions are focused on helping us all bring attention to our present moment without judgment, grounding the start of our day and moving us from a place of fear to a place of calm. Elisa Schuchter. Elisa has gone above and beyond in several volunteer positions at Beth Israel this past year. In addition to her duty as a member of the board of directors, she is chair of the Adult Education Committee and co-coordinator of the Saturday morning Lay-led Shabbat Minyan service. Within 2 weeks of lockdown, Elisa, along with her co-coordinator of the Minyan service, transitioned the service from the chapel to a virtual chapel. She is constantly and consistently coming up with new ideas and ways to engage potential speakers and facilitators for educational offerings. She is mission-driven and has been a steady force behind adult ed, not skipping a beat in times of struggle and uncertainty with the pandemic. She is loyal, dedicated, hardworking, and someone who genuinely and authentically cares about Beth Israel and its members. Please join me in applauding our honorees both online and here in person. Russ and Debbie, will you join us on the bema, please?
Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Oh, split up the men and the women, come on. Is everybody smiling?
Can't you tell? Thank you. Now, before we move on to our special award, and I love the fact that in our agenda it's just called the Special Award. I think from now on that should become a regular thing, just this non-branded special award that we give out on occasion. But before we move on to that, we have another person to honor, and that's our outgoing president, Kim Carno. Now, I've had the pleasure to know Kim for quite a long time. We met when our oldest kids were babies, never knowing that we would end up serving on boards together and having this whole other special relationship that we have. A lot has already been said about the role that Kim has played in our success and frankly our survival during the pandemic, but I echo all those words that have been said already this evening. We want to thank you, Kim, for your wit. We want to thank you, Kim, for your wisdom, and we want to thank you for your service. And underneath this.
Oh, dear.
Just the cup.
I just
Just
said
the
I
cup.
was gonna break it. It wasn't even filled with alcohol. I don't know what happened.
And now for our special award. So this special award this evening goes out to the hardest working person that I think I've ever met in my entire life. This comparison has been made to her, about her, many, many times, but it's worth saying again. A lot of people associate her with dogs because of the wonderful paintings of dogs that she does, but I will always think of Leslie as a duck, because on the surface, she's incredibly, impossibly calm all the time, while underneath, she is working harder than anyone that you've ever met. Okay.
So Leslie, please join us up here. There's another thing under the napkin. They just keep multiplying. That is for you. So this award is to acknowledge your tireless efforts in holding things together while we searched for our senior rabbi and during the pandemic. Leslie was a calming force, always considering the input of others and the impacts of various courses of action in a thoughtful and conservative manner. And let's be honest, we love her. Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Leslie. And so Leslie has just shared with me, and it is my honor to share with you the results of the voting conducted at the beginning of this meeting. And so we have our new board members that have been elected this evening: Sarah Garrick, Ryan Goldenhar, Herb Afner, and Danny Siklick. We also have board members that have been elected for a second term: Sari Hartman, Dave Kuhn, Allison Prager, Lori Scher, and Robin Spiegel. Congratulations, board members. We also have completed the nominating committee elections. Nominated for a first term, Russ Gold, who does not know how to say no apparently to any volunteerism in the community. Second term is Ide Ojeda Fournier. And our third term are Mike Chasin, John Lefter, and John will be the chair of the nominating committee. We also have passed the bylaw amendment, so thank you all for voting for that. That makes our life a little bit easier. It is now my privilege to conclude our annual meeting, and the next time you see me, I will not be president of Beth Israel anymore. So let me restate, it has been a pleasure and an honor. This is the best congregation on the planet. And I know that Dan will do a fantastic job leading us in the years ahead. Thank you all for joining us online. Thank you for being here with us in person. We definitely look forward to filling these seats, welcoming you all back when you are ready. I'm going to ask the board members to join us in the activity center, where we will be conducting our evening board member and having a peaceful transition of power to Mr. Jones. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening.